Okay, so let's talk about our O&Os. As with any startup company, we have to face several different obstacles and trials and tribulations, but these are the three that we think are going to be the most serious and egregious. Now, the first one that we said is that we don't have the knowledge to implement some of the solutions that we come up with. We've actually had the opportunity to meet up several times a year. Despite that, sometimes communication can be lacking, but the several times that we did meet up, we had a chance to talk about some solutions. And one of the solutions that we thought of just as a for instance, it was create a smart camera that will do image processing on frames. And so the reason I bring this up is that this sort of solution is actually kind of difficult. We did our research on it, we found a way to implement it, and then one of the ways to implement it was to use a neural net, and then we had to do more research on a neural net because we know what that was. And then it turns out there's something called layers, and then it turns out something called hidden layers, which is really hard to work on with. And so we had to do more research on that, and then we had to do more research on that research, and so forth, so forth. So the goalpost was kept on moving forward and forward and forward. So essentially, the biggest risk that we have is we don't know how hard the solutions we have that we're trying to implement. We don't know how much work is going to go into it, and we think that's important when we're dealing with deadlines and due dates and whatnot. The price of the product can be expensive and whatnot, but also even more than that, we put that the competition that we are facing is relatively staggering. Our TAM was 93 million, and not only that, it turns out that this market is completely dominated by behemoths like Google and Google and Amazon. And not just that, they're also dominated by in-house companies here in Houston like J&K Electronics and Smart Home Houston Solutions. Our mitigation plan to fix this is to, one, not attack these companies directly. It's actually to find a relatively creative and new solution to our problems. The risks, the problems that we had in talking to one another were just like, you guys, our schedules don't always align, and it's not necessarily our fault, it's just how we are, we're just busy bodies. And so because of that, we don't have as much meetings as we would like to have. We feel like we can have more. Ways around that would be to create incentives. Like for example, if you miss a meeting, then you get this really gnarly thing called a to-do list. And essentially what that means, all the people that got to go to the meetings, they get to create this awful, big, tedious to-do list that we give to the absentee, and then they have to work on it. And it's gonna be painful and it's gonna suck for that person. Another thing we implemented is we had mandatory meetings every Tuesdays. Top 3 reasons for success, but despite all our shortcomings, we think we do have a capacity for being successful, and as the slide demonstrates why that is. So aside from the to-do list and the mandatory meetings and whatnot, we think that these are elements that if we implement, that would greatly improve our communication and our chance at succeeding as a group.